What's up, guys? Spin Firearms here, and yes, I am a collector. But on top of that, I've shot every single handgun on this table, and today we're going to break down what my favorite pocket pistols are. Now, what is a pocket pistol? For instance, this Glock 43 in my pocket, I consider this, even though I'm pocket carrying it, I consider this a single stack, right? This CZ P10M, this is a single stack. It is a bit bigger than everything you see at the table. These are all mouse guns. These are true pocket carry pistols, true pistols that'll fit in almost every single pocket. Now, for stuff like subcompacts like the Glock 26, you can make it work. But typically you need bigger pants, and they're not going to work in every pair of pants or shorts you own. These typically will. But before we get started, hit the like button, drop a comment down below, and subscribe. Let's get into it. What is the best pocket pistol out there? There's so many great options. Every single one on this table, with the exception of a couple, are all great. I don't think I own every single one yet. That's my goal at some point, but I'm happy with what I have. Let's get into it. The number one best pocket pistol by far is the newest release, the Smith & Wesson Bodyguard 2.0. It's feature packed, comes with awesome sights, a blacked out rear, an orange front tritium sight, an awesome finish for pocket carry, which is crucial. Especially if you're active, you do not want a bad finish on your pocket pistol. You will sweat, it'll rust, especially if you pocket carry often like I do. Awesome forward serrations, awesome rear serrations. I don't really care for forward serrations, but if they're there, doesn't bother me. Awesome texturing everywhere on the handgun. Even here is textured. Here. There's a little bit of texturing throughout the whole thing. They put texturing here if you wanted to keep your thumb away from that end of the barrel, which I understand. Or they have little memory pads there, which you can use as well. I really like that. Smith & Wesson completely thought this through. On top of that, this is 10 round capacity or 12 round with the little bit longer extended mag. It has an amazing trigger on it. I love this thing. Now, I have heard, since this is a new release, there's been a couple issues here and there. I have not ran into any. It's a smooth shooter, accurate as can be, and this is probably the fastest shooting pocket pistol on the table, with the exception of maybe one other handgun, which we'll get into. The Bodyguard 2.0 is the greatest pocket pistol ever made. Simple as that. Capacity-wise, trigger-wise, sights, the whole thing is there, and it comes in at a very affordable price, typically around $400. I absolutely love the thing. Next up, I'm going to give it to the Ruger LCP Max. Now, my wife has a very nice 75th anniversary edition. I was nice enough to give that to her, so I got stuck with this one. Nothing wrong with it. This is also 10+1 or 12+1 with capacity. Obviously, the only competition to this handgun is the Bodyguard. That's why Smith & Wesson was genius to come out with that. Just imagine if Glock would have dropped a Glock 42X or a Glock 42 with double stack capacity. It would have been unbelievable. It would have shocked the world. Their sales would have been insane. Even if they released a Glock 43X with 15 round capacity and metal mags, or, you know what I mean? Just, it blows my mind how far behind Glock is getting and how much money there is to be made, and they just don't care about it. Anyways, the LCP Max, great trigger on this thing, good texturing, not as good a texturing as the Bodyguard. The finish on this one is good, but I have seen even ones in the display case at my local range rusting. So Rugers and rust typically are a thing. I don't like it, especially for pocket carry. You should have something that does not rust due to moisture and being active for people who jog, work out, stuff like that, or going to the park with your kids. But I have not had any rust issues with mine. Mine's been a great shooter and 100% reliable. Also, I really like the sights. I even like them better than what comes on the Smith & Wesson. It's a tritium front sight that looks really nice with a blacked out rear. I love my Ruger Max, LCP Max. We have two of them, never a single problem. I trust my wife carrying it, so that says a lot. And I'm really serious about which handgun my wife carries because she takes care of 3 kids all day. So I want her to have the best possible carry gun. I trust our Rugers, especially with the defensive ammo we've put through it. It's a perfect setup. Next up, I have to go Glock 42. It's the biggest pocket pistol on the table, which allows it to be the smoothest shooting on the table, the flattest shooting. And for me, this is faster than the Bodyguard, but you lose capacity. This is a 6+1 setup. The other two that I just showed you were 10+1 or 12+1. Like I said, just imagine if Glock would have released even an 8+1 this big. Come on, Glock. It drives me crazy as a Glock fan because I love Glock, right? They're reliable. I've never had issues with them, and that's my main carry. But they need to innovate. They need to compete. Great finish. You'll never have any rust in any Glock. You'll never have any problems with that. Reliable as can be. I love my Glock 42. My wife liked this, but she did actually prefer the LCP Max. Even though it's a little bit more snappy, she likes the capacity aspect of things. So I completely am on board for that. Next up, we got to go the original Bodyguard. The Bodyguard was great originally, but the trigger on the new one just makes this look sad. Do I trust this and like this handgun still? Of course I do. Awesome finish. Smith & Wesson puts amazing finishes on the handgun. You will never have any rust pocket carrying these. One benefit that this has compared to the rest is this does have a manual safety. You can get the new Bodyguard with a manual safety, but I did not. This one has a manual safety even though you have like a 10 or 12 pound trigger pull, which typically tends people to throw shots, but this is a smooth shooter. If you shoot double action or just train with it, you will be good. The main thing is having something on you. It doesn't matter capacity or caliber, even though I would stay away from 22 long rifle as a pistol. As long as you have something on you, that's what matters the most. Majority, 78% of the time you're in a self-defense encounter, all you have to do is present the firearm or say you have it on you. The person doesn't even shoot. So that is a huge plus, is just having something on you, and that is the point of these handguns. In places where you need deep concealment, they're great. So the Bodyguard, I still love it. Great finish, decent sights. You know, it is what it is with the 6+1 capacity. There might be a Maggot's kit for it here or there to add some capacity to it. Great gun. Next up is my Diamondback DB9 Gen 4. Super underrated. This is a little bit bigger than the single stacks on the table, but comes with a great finish on it. Obviously, it's missing a rear sight. I'm going to be putting a Glock, new Tritium XS Glock sights on this. I've been in the process of it, and that's why it's missing a sight. Anyways, this is one of the most ergonomic ones on the table, other than the Bodyguard. Feels really good in the hand, and it's in 9mm. And it handles 9mm plus P. Therefore, you can really have this pocket pistol rip. This is a true pocket rocket. It's small and in 9mm. And that's the only 9mm pocket pistol on the table. And out of all the brands that are out there, Carr and Kel-Tec are the only two that made 9mm pocket pistols. So Diamondback has something going for them. Just get the Gen 4s. Gens 1 through 3 typically had issues. These shoot amazing. They're a little snappy for what they are compared to the 380s, but at least you have that 9mm power, and they're not hard to shoot. They actually have really decent triggers. Take Glock sights, take down like a Glock. Absolutely love them, and they are affordable. Never a single issue with them. That will take me over to the Diamondback DB380, also a Gen 4, I believe. This has been great. 3-dot sights. This is really smooth. It is really small, really tiny. Great trigger on it. 2.75-inch barrel. So compared to the 9mm version, it looks small. I mean, it's crazy. It makes the DB9 look big. Just an awesome handgun. I like the color coordination on this one. Love the serrations. It's just been a good gun. No issues, but this is the one I have the least amount of rounds through. This probably only has 150 rounds through it, which is hard nowadays to do with it only a 6-round capacity, right? But it's been flawless. Not a single issue. I really do like the DB series, and I think they're extremely underrated, but that's on them. They got a bad name from having unreliable handguns in the past. Now they've really cleaned up their act, similar to something like Taurus, but I would say they're even more reliable than Tauruses are nowadays. So, got to give them their credit where credit is due, right? Next up, I got to say the Taurus Spectrum. Super underrated, looks crazy, but the most comfortable. I mean, it has awesome, like, rubberish, even on the side, it's like rubber. It's got a pretty decent finish on it. I'm very surprised compared to my G-Series Tauruses. They have terrible finishes. This has a great finish on it. The trigger is actually really good. If you want to see me in my live shooting review, where I'm shooting this at Target, you will love it. Look at the joy on my face. Look at how many shots I hit. And I'm shooting at decent distances, right? These are pocket pistols. These are get-off-me guns. So at a decent distance, I'm still hitting. Sorry, that's a tongue twister. I'm still hitting. Even with these crappy sights, I'm still hitting. And I'm shooting fast in this video. So go check it out. Maybe I'll put the link in the description so you guys can find it a little easier. But overall, you're going to dry fire it and be like, oh, what is this trigger? But then you take it to the range, and this thing rips. Straight up rips. Accurate as can be. Not a single malfunction through it. I actually love the Taurus Spectrum. Love it. I actually get excited about it because it's a cool gun and people only talk down on Taurus. Next up, the Ruger LCP. This is the original. I don't like that it doesn't lock back, but it hasn't ever been an issue. I've had no rust issues with mine. Put a whole grip on it because the thing is just so dang small. Very shootable. A lot of people get intimidated or fear that these things are snappy. The ones that are in 380 are not snappy at all. They're very manageable. Especially if you have larger hands, you can grip the whole gun and get a great purchase on this thing. I mean, look at that. The thing goes nowhere. It's only a 380, guys. It's not that serious. Especially if you train, just put the time in, put the effort in, put the rounds down range, get there every weekend, get there every other weekend, whatever you can do, make it work, and you will be good with any pistol you get. But 6+1 capacity, I like it. It has its positions, though. Last but not least, you know this is my throwaway because I always throw it in videos. I've been throwing this Beretta before any other person has been throwing their handguns. This thing has been on and off with its reliability. 1 minute it's great, the next there's a broken part. Now this thing's up and running again. So I really like the finish on it. But look at the grip. I get look at that. 1.5 fingers on it. It's crazy. And then the pinky extension comes down to like here, but doesn't add capacity. It's just it's dumb. They could have added, +1. Make it 7+1. Allow me to get all 3 fingers or all 2 fingers and 1/4 of the third, right? It's just ridiculous. But 3-dot sights. This is the thinnest production 380 in the world. People were, saying I'm lying or making it up or blah, 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 blah. They're saying the gun they have is the skinniest. No. I called a holster maker who makes pocket holsters for pocket pistols. The Beretta Pico is the thinnest 380 production pistol in the world. I think they're discontinued now, so you can only find them used. If you get one that runs, though, this has some of the least amount of recoil out of everything in the pile. It's a really, really nice shooter when you actually can shoot it. Mine has had a lot of issues, but it is what it is. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.